Hello, kids. Oh, no, sorry, wrong channel. It's Rev Bomb here. Welcome along, everybody. Yes, I've been down the pub. I've had a skinful. The hair's absolutely all over the bloody place tonight. We've had a long day at the garage, and let's adjust the camera. There we go. Rev Bomb full screen, as you would appreciate. Before we start off, loads going on today, but I have got some special guests today. He's on a night off. Hooray! It's the one and only Mr. Andy GSA Tractor. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, hello. Yeah, I've actually got 3 weekends off in a row. It's a miracle.
Yay! And before we go too long, it's the other ginger bearded biker. No, it's not Peaky. It's Empty Belly. It's Matt. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. All right. Just had a bit of a hectic afternoon, but doing well. So I don't know whether you saw. Got a phone call from a little lad's school today. He collapsed on the floor and was fitting. So he's currently at hospital with the missus. He's had blood tests done and everything. So hopefully they'll be home soon because he's got meds and they're releasing him in the next hour. So I've had a bit of a hectic day, which is why I've come on here, because I need a laugh, I need a joke, and I need something to take my brain off of it.
So hopefully we'll break that for you, Matt. But hopefully everything goes okay for you, mate.
Oh, I tell you, it's not nice seeing your lad on the floor.
If it does sound like Henry the Hoover tonight. I have done 5 bikes today, so I'm currently uploading 27 gig of data to the computer. I've got to try and edit after we finish the live stream tonight. I'm going to spend about 5 hours editing, so hence why I went to the pub today. So I thought I'll go and have a couple of quick pints down the pub. So it's going to probably be like car crash TV tonight. So yeah, worse for what. And I'm also 2 bottles in as well. So I need a beer tonight. So absolutely brilliant. I'm going to say a big congratulations, Boating Biker Bird. Well done, Kareen. Mod 1. Well done, girl. So she's done her
well done. Yeah.
So just the mod 2 to go. So hopefully we'll get her out on a big bike soon. So yeah, good to see you, BBB. Hope you, Matt, as well. All is well. So yeah, hopefully, Matt, everything's all okay for you.
Yeah,
link up one more time, side chat. But what you been up to for the last couple of weeks? We haven't seen you in bloody ages.
Who?
Me?
What?
No, Matt. We haven't seen Matt. I haven't seen Andy for weeks, but we haven't seen Matt either.
Me, just normal day-to-day life. Been away with a family, down to Kent and everything, and just plodding along as per normal. So, well, like I say, it's just today has just got to me a bit. Well, I'm still alive. I'm here. I've just not been doing videos or anything. I've just been having a break from everything. So,
yeah.
Well, I'm here. I'm alive.
And Stu's in the room. Evening, Stu. Bike Bird. Well done. Yeah. Hey, Zed is here. The man himself, Mr. One and Only Zed Head is in the room as well. So link is up in StreamYard. Anybody wants to jump in. Andy, what you been up to? Now you got 3 weeks off.
I got 3 weeks off. I just got 3 weekends in a row off.
Better than nothing, mate. Better than nothing.
I actually got the bike out today. Took a bimble from Hemel to Aaron's with Simon and Crouchy. Nice to get the bike out. Yeah, put a new screen on it. That's all blacked out.
Cool.
Changed side deflectors. They're all blacked out. So yeah,
lovely. Nice. Quick one for you. Your TomTom that you've got, is it a standard mount on the back of that?
It's the bike. I've got a car mount for it and a bike mount.
Does it fit the standard?
It's the same as yours. You know the one. It's the TomTom mount that clips on, like what yours does.
Yeah.
I've got all the locking mechanism and all sorts for it.
Okay, have a chat with me afterwards. Yeah, might be interested in that, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
Because mine's got water ingress, so if I leave it out on the yard for too long, my screen starts to mist up. But then again, it only knows super sausage anyway.
Yeah, this is the 5500, so it's a newer one, and it's yeah, I'll do discount for friends. No worries.
Yeah, all right, nice one. Let me know on that one. German Jobbies is in the room. Good to see you, German Jobbies. He's done a good video this week, actually. Go and check out German Jobbies' channel. He's got some really good stuff up. I'm just going to mention what we've got in, because obviously, we're a Lex Moto dealer. We've taken on a new company called Quadzilla. Now they do CF Moto, range, and they do WK.
Sounds like a great movie, doesn't it? Quadzilla.
I know, yes.
Thought they made quad bikes.
they sent us out, obviously, because we can't get scooters from Lexmoto. Phil ordered a couple of these WK scooters. Now, with the Lexmoto, you have to put the front wheel on, you have to put all the speed assembly on it, you have to add all the bloody handlebars, the mirrors, piss around with the batteries, exhaust guards, you name it. These WKs literally arrive pre-assembled. The whole bike is there. All you have to put is a battery, the mirrors on it, and the exhaust guard. The bike is ready to go. I prepped 2 bikes in 2 hours, and that's a full bolt check, batteries on, number plates, and I've literally just done the 2 test rides this morning, banged them out first thing. These WKs are bloody good. They're $2,000, so same price as a Titan, but they look a little bit more upmarket, like the Diablo. So the Diablo sells, I think, about $2,280. But for $2,000 for a bike, you literally plug and play, away you go, and you can't fault it. The one thing I did pick up on it, with your twist and go scooters, as soon as you roll off, you get your engine braking and the variators grabbing at it, and that's all the way down to 0. With these WKs, you roll off about 10 miles an hour, it goes into freewheel, so you can just literally coast down the hill. You've not got the bike grabbing at the variator all the time. I was like, oh, this is pretty neat. But them videos, I'm going to try and get them up to tonight or either tomorrow. But bloody hell, what a bike for $2,000. It's not much that it doesn't take a lot to obviously impress me, but these things, Jesus Christ, they are good. And obviously, he said, oh, if you can put a couple of review videos up. As I said, I graded it 49 out of 50. And I've never given that high a mark apart from the LSN. But we will see how it does over the next couple of months. If these WKs are good, and we've literally sold 3 before they've arrived, and we've got another 3 coming now. But bloody hell, what a scoot and a half for $2,000, mate. You know, you can't go far wrong. I think Lexmoto are going to have some competition out of this. So, yeah, so they're all doing good.
Yeah, they look nice on the pictures you put up, but I prefer my WK Iron Brew than the blue one.
Yeah.
So when I saw the name, I just kept thinking of WKD Blue or Iron
That's
Brew.
what I'm keeping, WKD Blue, WKD Orange. Yeah,
I take it they're coming out of China.
I think it's either China or Asia, but the
other thing as well, Quadzilla, don't they do quad bikes?
They do quad bikes. They do CF. Let me just bring up. I'm going to bring up the actual website because their guy actually said to me, because obviously Exeter knows who these guys are, because they asked him to obviously do a lot of their reviews. So Quadzilla home. Here we go. Quadzilla. They deal with WK, Slam, CF Moto, and they do like the ATVs, the UTVs, the SSVs. So they do massive, great big 1000cc quad bikes. But obviously we do the stuff which is called the WK range. So there's a massive. Let me just bring this screen up and I'll scroll through it. So let me go into share screen. Browser, WK bikes. Here we go. So I'll just roll through the screens on this. So we start from the very top. So you've got like your 50s. The Scrambler is very, very similar. The 50, they do a 125 and a 50. Brilliant. So that's very similar to like the Lexmoto Tempest or the Mutt. Then obviously you've got all your scooters in there. Jetmax 250, GP2. They do a lot of 125 sports bikes. They go right the way up. There's a 650 in there, SP 125s. But that's literally all of the WK range on it. If you go into that, but they also do like the slam bikes as well. So you've got your motocrossers in there. You've got CF Moto, very, very well-known brand. So they've got all the CF Motos in there. And then obviously go into all your what they call your four-wheelers, your quads and all that, and your ATVs, UTVs, SSVs. So, yeah,
That's how I know the name Quadzilla is, because of the quad bikes, because they've been doing them for years, Quadzilla up.
Exeter just said sounds good. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Lockwood has resurfaced. He's been found safe and well, thank God. The CF Moto.
He's on Netflix at the minute. I'm watching him.
Yeah, CF Moto are going over to KTM as well, so and they've cut the margins too. So dealer makes a bit more money, but the actual retail value is really, really good on. Did Rev release him from his touch? Yeah, Lockwood was not at my house, believe it or not. He's been, Lockwood has just been a busy boy, unfortunately. He'd run away and join a cult. So, yeah,
I'll tell you which one I did like
for Edinburgh. That's what he's doing. He's saving up for Edinburgh. I told him to save plenty of money. He'll need it when I start drinking.
Exactly. Yeah. I think everybody's been a busy boy gearing up for bike season at the moment. You know, there's loads of channels that have been really, really quiet, and all of a sudden they've just literally sprung back to life in the last couple of weeks. So,
I'll tell you one I did like, Rav, which is on your page, your Eclipse site, is the Maxi.
Oh yes, the big one.
The MX125 Maxi. That is nice. That is for a little scooter.
That retails, nice, I think that's 2579. But when you consider like the Lex Moto Apollo is nearly £200 more, and the MXI is all digital dash. That literally comes in, and all we do is just add a screen to it, just 4-bolt plastic screen on it. And the one thing that is obviously cutting down on is your prep time and obviously mechanics time in the garage. If you're having to prep for an hour, that's an hour's labour at 65 quid. You know, your guys are just busy fools. So, yeah, they've definitely got some competition there. And we still can't get Titans out of Lex Motor for at least another month. So,
that's China for you, isn't it? It's everything's bloody slowed down.
If we can get scooters from another company, we're going to start selling them, and it just proves the point. We bang 3 bikes up, and 3 bikes gone in 2 days.
Problem with China at the minute, they're too busy making arms for Russia.
You see, our normal prep at the garage, we do what's called a 7-stage. So first one is prep the bike up, get it, build it. Second one is PDI it. Third one is obviously prep the bike for the customer. So go round again, another bolt test, number plates on. 4th one's ride test, 5th one's final ride test, and then 6 and 7 is like RAV the bike, what we call register a vehicle, get it all done, get all the registration done, tax done, and handover. With these obviously the WK bikes, it's 3 stages: prep the bike, ride it, number plate. I can do it all in one. Main test ride, and then just hand over. And I've banged out 10 miles on them today, and I was poddling along at 45-50 mile an hour, and it wasn't even straining the engine. It was like, this engine's bloody good. So it's a lot higher revving, but they're using the QMI engines in them. So you've not got the SYs or the GY engines. It's a straight QMI, and every bike out of China now, like the Hondas, the Yamahas, they're all using the QMI engines. So it's going to be a lot better quality. Quick hi to Sprocket Rocket, and obviously Bruce are in the room as well. I'm going to post up the link for you, boys, one more time. If anybody wants to jump in on the StreamYard link, come and join us on the stream tonight. And as we're saying, we're all going to head down to Andy's soon to raid his bar before long.
Once it dries out, I can actually get up the bar. We haven't been up there since New Year's Eve. No, Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Is that Able John? Is that's the question? Lex Moto, LXR or LXS?
LXR or LXS. It depends. I would say, how tall are you?
Yeah.
If you tend to be 5'8" or less, I would say LXS. LXR, 5 foot, slightly higher rider. Now the difference is the LXS is 790 millimeters to the top of the seat. The LXS is 790. The LXR is 820. So there's about 1.5 inches difference on that seat. The SE, it's basically an LXR with just upside down forks and an alley swing arm. So if you want to go for the full race look, you want to look the business, go SE. Does it affect the handling? Absolutely not. They both ride exactly the same. You feel it a little bit better. There's a little bit more comfort on the SE. But as a new rider, are you going to feel the difference? No. It's like saying to Andy, it is a BMW GS standard and is the GSA. Take it out and ride it. Do you notice the difference? Not, you will if you know how to set the bike up correctly.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit more refined.
The GS is 2 inches taller. It's got slightly different geometry on the suspension.
Yeah, my daughter sat on. Sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. My daughter sat on the LXS the bike show this year because she likes the grey and yellow wheel one.
That's the one, yeah.
And also, she prefers the LXS. Not going to go out Lex Moto, but cut down on your bloody decals because the LXR is just plastered in them. The LXS has got less decals on it, and she hates it. Yeah, she hates the decals all over the LXR. So she's going for the LXS because she's got a £250 Viator off from Lex Moto, and she's up to about $2,000 now, so she's not far off on the savings. So she'll be contacting you as soon as she's finished saving.
And down the bottom here is the man himself. He has surfaced from Scotland. It's the one and only, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mr. Z-Head. Evening, Stu.
Hi, Stuart.
How's things? How's everything?
Yeah, we're good, mate. We're good.
As you can see, my hair's growing because it's been a wee while. So,
you think that's bad, Stu? If I take my hat off, I need an haircut, mate.
Matt,
I need a haircut.
Peaky's in the room, everybody. So Peaky's here as well. Evening, Peaky.
I was going to do this to Rev, you see. Look, I can go like that for a bit afternoon.
Doesn't make that much of a difference.
No.
Oh, there we go. IB Charles, I've removed most of my decals. A lot of people do de-stickerize. I think that's the word, de-stickerize the LXS.
Yeah, the problem is, though, IB Charles, is some of the decals are actually under the clear coat on some of the bikes. Because I discovered that with the Michigan, because I was looking at it thinking I'm going to take the Lex Motor off the tank, but it's actually under the clear coat.
That's it. Yeah, on the tank it is. The fairing ones you can peel. Best thing for that is something like a heat gun or the wife's hairdryer works. Just
I've just left it on mine. If it's, I've got a heat gun and I've got a plastic, proper plastic scraper and goo remover and all that lot. So.
Yeah, and as you said, they have a lip around them as well.
Yeah, some of them do. Yeah.
Rev, do you want a bit of inside gossip?
Yeah, go for it.
There's the reports going about that Z-Head selling the ZZR 1400.
Oh,
like you're not selling it to Grant, are you?
No. Grant's got one. But I'm selling mine.
Yeah, the cat was let out the bag when he did that video, wasn't it? It was like you can't miss them bloody things on it.
the rear swing arm I noticed straight away.
Yeah.
But no, I've got a buyer for mine straight away. So
that's good.
I've already selected my next bike, and I've already had approval from my wife. So
good.
It's I'm not telling you. That's a suspense.
There, keep the big reveal. As long as you're keeping the ZX, that's all right.
It's a Hayabusa. No, I'm only kidding.
No, how's that ZX going anyway?
Well, next month, Graham's is going to pick up the fairings. Sunday, I'm going to be taking the rest of the paint off the frame. So that'll be everything that needs to be off the bike. So it's as tatty as it's going to get, and from now on in, it's going to get better. So come April, possibly May, when weather gets better and it's MOT'd, it'll be out on the road. So the other bike that I'm going to be getting, I'll be riding that mostly, but if I want to have a razz about, the ZX9 will come out to spit flames. So it's the best of both worlds, I can assure you. And I'm not upset about getting rid of the ZZR. I'll just tell you that right now. It's just the right time. If it makes sense, it's paid off, but it's at its highest value right now as well. So the guy who is potentially going to be buying it, he's already told me that he wants first refusal. Has last week said no, 100% definite. If you pull the pin and you want to sell it, I'm buying it. And he's wants to buy it at the price I'm selling it at as well, which is a big thing. So it's going to happen one way or another.
Brilliant. I've got the final ride of the ZX9 going up hopefully later. If you We had a ZX9 in, absolutely beautiful, and it was, I think it's got 11,600 miles on it. The boys went to start it last week, and it would not start, and I'm like, oh, I bet you've bloody flooded it. Gonna be flooded. I said to him, starting a Ninja, you've got to get used to starting a Ninja. It's literally full choke, 6 twists of the wrist, hit that start button for 2 seconds and leave it alone and let the engine pick itself up. It will start with 1 cylinder, 2, then 3, then 4. It's a typical Ninja thing. It will
it's a Kawasaki thing. They usually start in 3, and when they warm up, they kick onto the 4th cylinder.
Kick onto the 4. I literally got it in the workshop, had a quick look around it, put a bit of extra fuel in it, sat it on the ramp, kick, boost box on it, and it fired on the button. And I just and he went, "Oh, you need to rev it." No, just leave the fucking thing alone. Let it do its own thing. Let it warm up. When it starts revving like a bastard, start taking the choke off. You've got to let the manual choke off. The guy, believe it or not, the guy is from Scotland. It's coming up to Scotland.
Okay. See that? Just like my ZZR wasn't any different. I had to start on maybe 3/4 to just over 3/4 choke. Yeah. It fired up, and it fired up on 3, kicked into the 4th. As soon as you heard the 4th cylinder kick in, you would turn the choke down a wee bit, let the engine come up to temperature, and as soon as you turned the choke off, the bike idled steady as a rock, and it never flinched from that, and that's the way it was. And it seems to be like a wee foible of Kawasaki, certainly carbureted Kawasaki's, because the ZX9R that I've got just now, that's exactly the same. And the guy I bought it from, he told me exactly what you just said, Rev, and that was the 3/4 choke, start it up on the choke, no throttle. If you start it with choke and throttle, you flood the carbs. Basically, it doesn't like it. You've just got to trust that you're clicking it on the button and it's going to catch. And it does. It's surprising. It does.
All the time they catch. But I did this little ride. I took it out today. Jesus Christ. I had to blur the clocks a bit because I only went down the local dual carriageway, and that thing has got so much torque. But when we put it in for the MOT, because Phil said to me, he said, "You've advised both tyres worn." And I went, "Yeah, they're not close to the limit, but it literally looks like someone's taken it round the track half a dozen times because it's bobbled all over the tyres." But that'll roll off. Once he gets about 20, 30 miles on it, that'll all bobble off. But he's obviously been using them tyres correctly. But he's got Pirelli Diablo Corsa 2s on it. I'm like, oh, they're a nice... I said, but them tyres do get very sticky very, very quick on the corners. So, yeah. But, oh, God, even in the wet, it was cornering. I'm like, no, I'm gonna poddle along nice and steady. I don't want to be skating this down the road. But, Jesus Christ, it does bloody fly. Quick one from Charles. He said, what's the average end of life miles on a bike? It depends. It depends. It really does depend on how you look after the bike, how you treat it. And regular oil changes are a good one.
That's words right out my mouth. I had a ZZR 600 and I bought it with high mileage, and I replaced engine oil and filter every single year without fail. Sometimes it was dependent on mileage, because you've got to appreciate when a bike gets old, the engine starts to get a wee bit tired. If you put engine oil in it, say you spend money putting engine oil in a bike twice a year with filters, you will get in excess of 70, 80, 90, 100,000 miles out of engine, depending on what kind of bike it is. The ZZR 600 I had at that time, I know the guy who owns it now, and it's just clocked 70,000 miles.
German job is 100k on the Honda VFR. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I do my oil normally every 6 months on mine, depending on, I could ride 500 miles, I could ride 5,000 miles. I still change my oil every 6 months. And that's just a thing for me. Military's in the room. Evening, Stevie. Good to see you, buddy.
Stevie, how you doing, pal?
Evening, Stevie.
Yeah. Lex motor is about 2,000 miles. Yeah.
I took the front mudguard off my ZX9R, and I found that probably about the lower 2, maybe 2.5 inches of the forks don't have any chrome on them. So I'm now actually, there's a company called pittedforks.com. Don't know if you've ever heard of them, but you should look them up, because they are going to take my forks, they're going to grind them back down to below the chrome. They're going to chrome them back up to oversize and grind them back down, the pair, for £200. I thought that was, and they promised that the chrome that they put on it will be harder than the OE chrome that was on it originally.
How is that? What's all this twister throttle 6 times where Ruby slippers click heels free and say we're not in Dagenham toe? So yeah, it is true. It is that is how you start a ninja. If you know your ninjas, then you'll know how it works.
Going back to the how long will a vehicle last? Like you say, it all depends down to maintenance and that. Because I used to have company cars where I'd done like 250k miles on them, you know, and they were regular serviced. So it's like any vehicle. If you regular service it, look after it, and coat it with ACF 50, it will last you years.
Matt, you've hit the nail on the head, right? I'll give you a scenario, right? A bike, say for example, my ZZR, right, 2008, with 40,000 miles on it, right? It's had every single service history met throughout its whole life, or a ZZR with 20,000 miles on it with a sketchy history. What one of you see a bike that's been laid up, or a car that's been laid up, it hasn't got the miles on it that it should have for its age, because the industry has an average mileage for each vehicle. And if anything falls below that, I would be more cynical and I would be more skeptical about having less miles on something rather than something that is sitting right on industry standard or slightly above the average mileage, but as long as it's had a full and comprehensive service history.
Yeah, well, it's like when my brother first passed his test on his bike, he got an old GPZ 900, you know, and that was like, I can't remember the reg of it, but it's bloody years old, but it's been looked after, service regular and everything, and it ran like a dream. He just got bored of it and wanted something with a bit more grunt, which is why he upgraded, you know, to that S1000. Well, before that, he had a Yamaha something crawler, and then he got this that Quack S1000 SX. You know, and like I say, I had my mate of mine. The only reason why he got rid of his S1000 SX, he got it at the same time as my brother, and it was because the frame was starting to corrode, but he didn't know about ACF 50 until I told him. Am I lagging? I'm lagging, aren't I?
No, you're fine. Matt, you might be lagging because obviously you're running green screen, so your computer might just be a wee bit behind.
Yeah, it doesn't normally do that. Let me just...
You see, we've got... Well, Andy will know who I'm on about, because Andy was like, Jesus Christ, who is that bloke on that Lexmoto Titan? He turned up at... He always turns up at Super Sausage on his Lexmoto Titan. He's got 52,000k on the bike at the moment. He's in every 3 months with us for an oil and filter. You don't need it. You've only done, oh yeah, but I've done like 2,500, 3,000k. I want me oil and filter. You can't turn him away. And Stuart's always in there. He normally comes in on the side chat port, he's known as.
Yeah.
But he's always up Super Sausage, and he's like, oh, I'm Stuart, blah, blah, blah. But that Lexmoto Titan, he covers the thing in ACF 50 all the time.
Yeah.
He's had, I think, 5 or 6 lots of clutch variator and roller, and the bike's still going. And he's not even done anything with the engine on it. He just looks after it, regular oil changes and filters.
Yeah.
And it just proves the point. Yeah.
Because so I need to redo my CBT, which I'm going to do with Kira this year. I'm still debating whether to go full bike license or get one of those Yamaha Tri-Cities, because I quite like them. Not interested in all the other free-wheeled things, because I've had a look and the dealer network lets them all down. That's the only problem with them. Whereas Yamaha is, Yamaha dealers all over the place. but I'm going to do my CBT. But before I do that, my Michigan's going to get a full, oil change service, bolt check, everything once the weather warms up a bit. At the moment, it's been covered in ACF 50 and winterized a bit and under about 4 covers in the front garden behind the car. So
yeah, just a quick one. Chris has just said, obviously, going to try and get on. He's in hospital at the moment. Chris, hope you're okay, mate. Nothing untoward, but he's just waiting to find out. So don't know what's going on there. JDM, pass on my best wishes to your mum. Need to wait and find out. Jay's on about going out on BBB's Michigan. That should be interesting. All right, keep safe, Sprocket Rocket.
Yeah.
A lot of higher milers down to oil changes. More important is the quality of the metals are used. Yeah, the old VW going for 300,000, but Renault's another story. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you look at who was the other famous car company for falling to bits? Was it not Seat? There was another one. Lancia. That was it. Yeah. They were known for it.
The old Lancia Deltas.
Yeah.
You can pick up a 1980s Lancia Delta right now in a bag for life.
Yeah.
Just a pile of rust.
It's like anything.
That's what killed Lancia in the 80s. Remember when they had to recall all the...
It was the Bravo one, it's something like that.
Yeah, well, the Delta.
Oh, the Fiat Bravo, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember which Lancer. It was one of them, wasn't it, what let it down? Because they had the rally one, didn't they? The two-seater thing.
It was the Delta Integrale. It was one of that was one of the Group B rally cars.
Because that's where you sat behind the steering wheel and the foot pedals were in the passenger side.
Yeah, it was like basically your steering wheels in front of you and your feet were to the left.
Over here, yeah.
Yep, that was because they changed it from left, I think it was to right, but they never moved the foot pedals too far
properly
because the gearbox was in the way. But that was because the Lamborghini Countach was exactly the same.
Yeah,
and I watched. Sorry for hogging the, but I actually saw a thing about Lamborghinis. I had a Lamborghini Countach. That was my poster when I was a boy on the wall.
I think it's everybody's, wasn't it? Not on the Porsche 911.
Do you know that Lamborghini?
I did the Lasardi.
Lamborghini Countachs never come out of the showroom with wings on them.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
They were sold. The wings were sold separate.
Oh yeah, the rear wings. They used to fit them in the car park.
Yep, they fitted the wings in the car park. They were not fitted in factory. They never did it in factory.
No, it was somebody else who made the rear wings, and they used to fit the rear wings if a customer ordered one with a rear wing in the car park.
That's right, because I was talking to, I was watching. It was like a video just recently. And I was talking to one of the design engineers for Lamborghini, because obviously the Countach is reaching like an anniversary, and that was the start that he came up with. A lot of people don't know that Lamborghini never ever fitted one single wing in their factory. That's an amazing
I think I watched the same program as you.
Yeah.
I think it was something like that, Car Throttle or something.
Absolutely. Two of them were standing at the back of
Lamborghini. And chatting to the bloke, and he says, we know the wings were fitted in the car park.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I know which one you're on about. It's Car Throttle or something like that on YouTube or something. Yeah, I know you're on about, because I saw the same thing, and it did make me chuckle when I saw that. Look, like I say, he's just like most things, isn't it? You look after it, he'll look after you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a background what I like. Say that one.
Oh, this is good. Breakfast order for the good old Rebecca. Right, breakfast roll.
Cob.
Yeah.
Not a roll. A roll is what you put a hot dog in.
No, I have mine in the French. I have mine in the French stick. So.
So it's McGee's. You get well-fired rolls, or you get normal rolls. You get morning rolls or well-fired rolls. What's that called?
It's the cob.
Is that not? Is that not?
Do you know what you get a hamburger in?
What, a bit of corn? A bit of corn?
No, we call it a cob. C-O-B.
No, I'm only winding you up, man. I know.
It's Nottingham. It must
Then
be
you got
Midlands,
Baps as well. See,
I know.
You get your back-
Well, do you know what Baps are in Scotland?
Yeah, I know
yeah,
what
yeah.
Baps are.
Get your Baps, get your Baps.
Yeah, that's what Baps are. That up
Is
here.
that bigger? You see, that's like a GS is a roll and Baps is a GSA.
Oh my god, it's like we've only travelled like a couple
I
hundred
have
miles.
this
And we've got,
argument every time with my
you're
missus.
eating Baps and I'm licking them.
Yeah, I have this argument every time with my missus when we go shopping. I go, can you pick some cobs up, please? She's like, because she's from Kent, and God knows what they call them down there. I think it's Baps or rolls or whatever. And it's like, you mean I went, no, I want cobs. A roll is what you put a hot dog in because it rolls on the table.
Yeah, we do a couple of cob shops up in up your way.
Yeah, Nottingham, they're all cob shops. Yeah,
I went down to. We were down in the whole group of us went down to the Lake District, and we were at it was kind of sort of a burger van or something like that, and they did this thing called a stotty.
yes, yeah,
and it was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
What is this? It was like a kebab, but it was like an English kebab kind of. Oh my god,
yeah. I've heard of them.
it was something different.
Oh, there we go. Down the rabbit hole we go.
Yeah, I know.
Cobs are hairy horses.
Yeah,
It's like
I
do you
would
put
think
milk in before or after you put the tea in? Yeah, it's that
Speaking
debate,
on
isn't it?
spiced rum and coke. Any Scottish lads ever go to the ice cream van and ask any broken cones, mister?
No, but I would say that we've got a famous ice cream maker down in Largs called Nardini. You might have heard of Nardini. She was actually an actress, and I can't remember the name. It was a program about lawyers, and our family down in Largs have got an ice cream parlour. And what they do is put on a specific ice cream, like say for the holidays and stuff like that. And for Father's Day, they put on vagina flavoured ice cream. And honestly, it tasted like shit, but I get told I took too big a lick.
Bear with. The Moto Vloggers channel has gone mad on WhatsApp now. Obviously, Chris is in hospital, so we should find out why. But I'm just going to say get well soon, just in case it is anything untoward. So I'll leave him to do that. Quick one. Did anybody see Lamb Chopsy's picture that he put up? I think it was yesterday. And he went, "Oh, look, I've got a haggy holding his haggis." No, he's posted it on his YouTube channel, and he's like, "Oh," he said, "I've got a haggy." I'm like, "Put your bloody fingers off it, put it on the plate, and eat the bloody thing."
I learned an interesting thing the other day about haggis. Do you know in America they were banned, and they used to smuggle them in from Canada? There used to be smuggling trade in haggis from Canada into America.
Except for the bloody whiskey, that's why.
Well, no, it was something to do with some of the ingredients or something, and now they've unbanned them.
I did hear the joke. Don't worry, I heard Zed's joke. I was typing at the time. I can do two things at once. I'm like a woman. I can multitask.
Yeah, sorry, I was on the phone to my mum. So they're all, I just had a message from Tina and Zaid, and they're on the way home. So that's good fun. So I might disappear for a few minutes.
Yeah, after BBB's potty mouth on the side chat, it was like, yeah, okay. Americans don't have electric kettles. How can they ban haggis? Exactly, yeah.
Oh, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Off to get the missus.
Yeah, they've just walked in front door, so I'll be back in a few.
All right, no worries. We'll see you shortly anyway.
Yeah, I'll just sit here. I'll just mute
Hey,
myself.
Matt, take care, man.
Yeah, I'll just mute myself and turn camera off for a few minutes.
Yeah. Oh, Chris has just said he's going to be fine, so that's all good. Brilliant. Just exactly what we want to hear. Right.
And yeah, Super Sausage Sunday ride out in it, Rev, from your place.
It is. This Sunday is the Super Sausage ride out, and I don't give a shit if it's raining or not. I need to get out again. Me and Simon went last Sunday. It was decidedly cold. Was an understatement. So yeah, we were the only two in the bloody car park. Crazy or stupid, I don't know. Both. I think probably both. But yeah, I did treat Simon to a full breakfast. And as I say, if you get there after me and I'm in the queue, grab me. I will get you a brekkie. So if you're up for it, Andy, I might treat you to a brekkie as well. Bring.
I might meet you at Eclipse. Depends,
or meet me at the meet at the garage. You're definitely confirmed to have a breakfast then.
You're there at 9, ain't you?
I'm normally at the garage at 9, and then we'll probably roll out about 9:15. I'm not going to hang around too long down there.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, Albie John, bottle of Bucky and Olds and haggis. Yeah, definitely. Let's have a quick look, lads. What cleaning product? Oh, here we go. Motor Matt has just said, "What cleaning products do you swear by?"
Rhino goo.
Go on, Andy.
I use Rhino goo,
Which is
it's better than Muck Off.
Ah, right.
Luminous yellow. It's like a Muck Off, but it's luminous yellow. It's called Rhino goo. I find it's better than Muck Off, a little bit cheaper, but yeah, good stuff.
I absolutely 100% categorically swear by Fairy Liquid because it gets the dishes clean, it keeps the wife off the back, and it means I can buy more motorcycles.
Yeah. I tend to use just snow foam, just straight snow foam on mine. But I've got a nice little car. Yeah, I got myself one of them little the mini Karchers. But it does the job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a mini Karcher? Is that an illegal immigrant? Is that?
It's close on. He's about this high and lives over there. Yeah. Yeah, but it's a good product, but snow foam. But then I just tend to wipe it off. The one thing I do use, obviously, I'm looking at one of these blowers that Andy had because I tend to use the Airline down at the garage. But
I'll tell you what, I've got an Airline linked in my garage.
Yeah,
that's a dinky little thing. Look at it. What's that? My wife's hair dryer is bigger than that.
Blaster Sidekick SK01.
I got
that's a bike.
I used to use the Airline out of my garage, but I tell you, this thing knocks spots off it. I sat in the front room on Christmas Day. I blew the blinds off. I blew the Christmas tree over.
Yeah,
it's absolutely mental.
That's the same. It's got two nozzles. This one here. That's the nozzle, and it gives you the highest velocity, and it emits just enough heat just to dry the bike, but not enough to sort of affect.
That's the.
Like that. I think they're all along the same lines.
On them. I think it's just the volume of air that passes through a smaller nozzle that heats up, and it's exactly the same on this one. It's got you can either have a single turbine running or both turbines running.
Yeah, and like it was Haggis Whisperer.
It only costs an hour to run.
It was Haggis Whisperer that showed me that one. He brought it into work and he's like, my son bought me this and try it out. And
I put a video up. A lot of people swear by the old dog dryers, pet dryers.
Well, like Lockwood. Lockwood's got a leaf blower. It's a battery operated leaf blower.
There we go. BBB's got one as well. Yeah, I use a battery powered garden blower. Really good.
That's what he uses.
Works, doesn't it? At the end of the day, I like this thing because it's the hose on it's only about 1 meter long. You switch it on and it instantly goes to about 4 meters.
Yeah, honestly, see when you switch that thing on, you actually feel the velocity. You're getting pulled back with the velocity. So when you put it into engine casings, because the hose is rubber, so it doesn't matter what you touch in your bike, you're not damaging it. It comes, the air is just so slightly warm. It's not even hot. It's just it's just over cold, if you know what I mean. And basically, what you do is replace the air filters. It's a tiny wee sort of mesh filter that you replace when it picks up too much ooze and dirt and whatever.
Yeah.
it just blows the water clean off your engine casings, and all your internals are just bone dry by the time you put your bike away. It's just
I like it. Blows all the water out your switch gear, and especially on the BMW with a boxer engine and the fins, because it's like 50 air cooled, 50 water cooled.
But Andy, really you know that you know yourself when you're washing a bike. It's like if you wash your bike long enough, you know where all the wee hang up points are. So you just target the wee hang up points, and you know for a fact that when you put your bike away, that no moisture or no water sitting in any of it.
Peaky said you're supposed to ride it, not clean it. But believe it or not, Peaky turned up to Super Sausage. Oh, God, talk about disgusted BMW. They're like, oh, look at that filthy bike over there. He's like, yeah, fucking ride it, that's why.
There's never a truer saying than why keep your bike clean and pristine for the next rider to own. Do you know what I mean? It's like, go out and use it. And
this time of year, if I take it out and it gets mucky, before I even put it away, I'll wash it off.
Yeah, it was like
put it away.
My mate Graham's Graham's will come on to Rev's live chat on. He's not on tonight, but Graham's usually comes on. He's going to be painting the ZX9R. It was him that showed me, like, when I first started riding and I first met him. We went to a garage, we went to a jet wash, and the first thing we did was we jet washed the bikes. We took them back. He took his back to his, and we went back to mine, and dried the bikes and put them away, along with all the lubrication and stuff like that. He's like, as long as you're doing that, you're not getting rusty change, you're not drying out any grease, you're not doing anything untoward to your bike. You'll be able to ride it all year long as you do this step, and that's just cleaning it after you've used it.
Yeah,
especially when the salt crystallizes. The salt crystallizes, it just kills it.
It's like Matt just said, like looking after the girlfriend for the next man.
Whoever said that has. Have you ever seen the Aston Martin? Have you ever seen the Aston Martin advert? Because the Aston Martin do that as an advert, and it's a picture of a girl with a leg up on a counter, and that's the very thing. It's like, why look after her for the next person when we can do that for you?
Right, exactly. BBB, Peaky's bike's as filthy as my mind. That's true. As it. German Jobbies just said, it's a tool. It literally is. The bike is a tool. It gets you from A to B, and you're out and riding it, you know.
But then it's an expensive tool for some of us, so it's nice to look after.
Yeah, it is nice to look after it. You know, it depends on how much you're spending, isn't it?
Well, it doesn't matter, like whether you spend 500 quid or 25,000 pounds. You know, look after it.
Look after it. It'll look after you. Chain lol. All the smug shaft drive BMW riders smile. Yeah.
What chain?
Someone actually said to me, he said, how often do you lube your chain? I went, never. And he went, you've never lubed your chain? I went, no, because I've got a shaft drive bike. You can't beat it for the torque and and all the messing around. You can't beat a shaft drive engine. Absolutely spot on every time.
Now they're good enough.
All right.
I've just got to watch I don't lock mine up. If I stick mine in Enduro Pro and you come off the throttle too quick, you can lock the rear end up.
Bloody hell.
This is a lot of it. But I don't ride Enduro Pro that much because
all I hear is don't jet wash Lex motor because it won't work on any bike. If you go and get water in the back of your electrics or in one of the plugs, nothing's going to work. And it's not just a Lex moto. It's it's any bike.
Can I just, like, you're talking about jet wash, right? Okay, it's like if you jet wash wheels, you think of the bearings that are packed with grease and stuff like that. If you're throwing a jet wash in there, you've got the potential of actually, you've got the potential of jet washing the grease clean out of the bearings, let alone anything else with the pressure. Same with electrical fitting.
Nowhere near my switch gear. Nowhere near. On the shaft drive, you've got rubber joints, haven't you? You've got like CV boots.
Yeah.
I don't go near them. Nothing like that. It's not worth it.
That's just all hand cleaning. That's what that comes down to. Just a nice gentle hand clean. What I do personally, it's like I think it couldn't have been long after I first had my first bike. I discovered a lubricator called Contralube, and it's used on speedboats, and it's a dielectric grease. So any bike I've ever had since, what I do is I take all the fairings off. I start from the front end of the bike and I work all the way back, and I put dielectric grease in every single one of my connectors. Just disconnect it, Contralube, and all the spade connectors, reconnect, and I do that one by one until I've went from front headlight to tail light, and then I know that I haven't protected it against jet washing it. That's not it just stops the ingress of water, verdigris, and it just prolongs the life of that plug, possibly until the next time you actually go in and check it, because that's one of the wee things that you should always be checking on bikes. Is
Charles has just said, is the snow foam a jet wash? No, the snow foam is like a spray. Basically makes your bike look like it's covered in snow. Then you would obviously take your snow foam out, put your extension lance on, and then jet wash the bike. But if you are jet washing, I tend to jet wash them at least 2 foot away, just a light mist in the water, just to get the snow foam off. There's nothing better than go down. If you go to something like B&M, I think Stu, you picked a couple up, didn't you? B&M. I think.
The micro, the foam, the noodle hand. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Well, they were doing a deal over Christmas, and what it was you got a noodle hand mitt plus a microfiber drying cloth. So you use the noodle mitt for washing the bike, and a microfiber drying cloth. And I think they were doing that for about $2.99.
Yeah, there was £6 down to £6 to $2.99.
It was like such a brilliant deal. And I just turned round to the wife and I said, "I've got to get them." She said, I'm like that. I threw them all into the bang, bang, bang. That's the time that I do it. It's like
I got 8 of the damn things, and so I use a different one for every bike. So the noodle mitt's good for getting water off as well. So if you've got a lot of water on the bike, you can use that. But if you're jet washing, do it from at least 2 foot away. Radiator, electric fault seals, even paint, you've got to be careful with jet washing. BBB's just said, get the Works one. It's a little battery powered one, and there's less pressure on one of them. It's literally like putting a small hose on it. But jet wash.
I've got the K5 jet wash, and I can control the power that comes out of it.
Yeah. Listen, there's nothing wrong with jet washing. It's just where you aim the jets. There's nothing wrong with, see, if you're jet washing a wheel and you're hitting the rim, don't aim for the spindle and the bearing. Don't aim for any of that area. Can do that bit, because that's the easy bit to get to. Just do the rim, or do the rear wheel and the sprocket, chain sprocket, or whatever it is. But don't go near the bearing. That's the whole.
Yeah,
you'll dry the bearing clean out. That's what will happen.
The blower's getting all the nooks and crannies a cloth can't get to, dries it fast so you can apply protectant. Yeah. Nothing better than getting in the nooks and crannies. BBB should know.
The good thing is, when you wash your bike in the summer and you dry it off straight away with one of the dryers, you don't get any streaks on the screen or on the tank or nothing. You don't even have to buff it off. It just instantly blows it away. It's brilliant. It's a bit of kit.
Have any of you watched the comparison video with washing?
No, Howie. TMF does a great how to clean your bike the correct way. Yeah, all right. Complete with bald head. Hello, kids.
Have any of you seen the comparison video where it's cleaning your bike without any sort of protectants and, like, say, the WD-40 version, ACF 50, and so on and so forth, and it gives you quite a comprehensive sort of rundown of how many washes between cycles of protectant that each of the different sort of protectants will give you. And ACF 50 will probably give you the most protection, obviously, because it's designed for aviation. So you feeling all right, Matt?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'll do well.
Joseph just said, I need someone to show me how to adjust my chain. There are loads and loads of videos on YouTube, how to adjust the chain and how to adjust it properly. Don't just go with the first one you watch. Watch at least half a dozen or speak to this guy. Chain Wizard, this guy. He knows how to adjust the chain.
I'll get a chain monkey like I've got.
Or buy a chain monkey. Yeah, it's the easy way to do it.
Yeah,
Get a chain.
It's a lot easier.
The thing about it is like you start getting into static sag and you start getting into all sorts of the chain monkey probably gives you the best reference that you could possibly get. It's like for whatever bike that you've got, it will tell you what you need to set the chain monkey to, so it knows what sag that the manufacturer specifies for that particular bike, whether it's 20 mil, 25 mil, 30 mil, whatever it is, and you can set it to that. And as long as your chain's tight and you've got that little sag within the chain monkey, when you release a chain monkey, that's the sag that you have.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than when you're running a bike with too tight a chain and you can hear it.
Yeah, on the sprocket.
As you're running, you can hear the chain running on the sprocket because you do not realize how much damage you're doing, because you're not only doing damage to the sprocket, you're not only doing damage to the chain, you're doing damage to the lead-ins of every single gear that the bike engages into, because it's too tight and it's not given the time, everything's off. And it affects the bike, so you need it's a very, very critical part. But it is something that a beginner, learner, or a non-skilled, without disrespect, a non-skilled person can do if they know the theory and behind it.
So I've just got bettered by the missus and Zayden to do that, so you have to excuse me.
The
I got a laser monkey as well. Sorry, I got a laser monkey as well as the chain.
For doing the
making sure it's square and not.
Yeah, your rear end.
Yeah, I got a laser monkey.
Is Howie taking one for TMF? Because he's like, TMF does this, TMF does that. Have you upset him or something? Because if you haven't, I will be upsetting TMF next Wednesday. The video goes live next Wednesday. The TMF gets gate crashed by Bacon Chops and Coffee Pot 2. That's coming up.
Yeah, but going back to them, because Oxford do one as well, Stu. I don't know if you've seen that one, a chain tensioner device, and the Oxford one's a bit of a pain compared to the chain monkey.
Yeah.
See, the chain monkey, obviously, you set it, lock it up. You put it on the bike, set the to the relevant markings, lock it up, pull your chain tight, use a laser monkey to make sure it's square, and then just take it off. Whereas the Oxford one, it's weird. It sort of measures the up movement and the down movement, and then you've got to calculate it. So
I'll be honest with you. I was very, very skeptical about any chain monkey products, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
it was the way that they pushed it and marketed it within the UK.
I don't know.
It was they marketed it as being a product of viable operation before it was actually proven to be. It was who they got to endorse it, who they got to push it. I kind of, it's like it was as if they were throwing it out to anyone and their granny.
Yeah,
I'm honestly sure I saw somebody with a mobility scooter talking about how good the chain monkey was at one point.
No, bloody hell. Well,
I'm only kidding. I didn't. I was just trying to make a point.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got the laser monkey and the chain monkey, and I find it all right, but that's me personally. I'm a bit of a
monkey. That count.
I've spanked the monkey many a time, but never used it in my chain.
What's on your cap, Andy?
You what, mate?
What's on your cap? Someone's asked.
It's an absolutely fantastically designed logo, sharp, incisive.
No, he's a nice lad.
And
By the way,
it fits the man perfectly, so it does. Who does that?
Available from RevBomb.
I'll tell you what, this fella in Scotland, right? He's a top chap, ugly looking fucker, but he does a really good job.
German Jobby just said, yeah, worse it's 2. He can jump off, break your car. We had a guy come in with he had an LXS, and he had the SE version. He had the expensive SE. It was only a year old. And we advised him when he came in on his first service, I've adjusted your chain, but keep an eye on your chain. They do stretch for the first couple of months, then it will start running nice. Keep an eye on your chain tension. He was back 6 months later. I've got an issue with my bike. What happened? My chain came off the rear sprocket. It pulled, but it's pulled the front sprocket through the crankcase. It had actually cracked the left-hand side of the crankcase and pulled all the gears. It literally pulled the whole gear shaft out of the crankcase because he'd locked his back wheel up.
With chains on a 125 as well, when they become slack, you start to lose speed, a lot of speed. On a 125, it makes such a difference. Keeping the correct chain tension.
See, the thing about it is, right, it's like you look at a motorbike, what are measurable points on a motorbike? You look at your swing arm spindle and your rear wheel spindle. That's a measurable point. Both are. So you measure the center of the swing arm spindle and the center point of your wheel spindle. You go around the other side of the bike and you measure that. That will tell you everything you need to know about how aligned your wheel is, because the swing arm spindle will never move out of line. The wheel may do, but the swing arm won't. And like everyone's, I've had people say, but you can take a set of verniers and do a depth gauge onto the back of a chain adjuster. No, you can't, because see if you're turning a stainless steel or a steel screw into aluminium to adjust your chain, you're wearing whatever you're pushing that into.
Yeah,
so your sizes are totally different.
And
you've got to take distinguishable points within your bike.
And the other thing as well is you need to sit on the bike after you've done it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it with the static sag. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, if you do it when with no weight on the bike, then you might as well forget it, because it's, unless you've got something like a chain monkey or something, you're not going to get it anywhere near.
Yeah.
But I like my chain monkey. I just find it easy to use, but that's just me. I like my gadgets and I like my laser monkey because it, gives you the true straight line. I use Tipex. I mark on the frame with Tipex and then put the laser on. So, I'll put the laser on, see where the dot is, and if it's straight, I'll put a Tipex mark there, and then just the chain tension, and then put the laser monkey back on and make sure it's bang on those marks on either side. So, but it's just me.
What I tend to do is I measure the actual adjuster bolt. So if it's one that sticks out the back, I tend to get the vernier on and measure each side with the vernier.
Yeah. Well, like I say, everybody's got their own way of adjusting chains, haven't they? So
Exeter does exactly the same, measured off the back of the swing arm, but granted, it's not perfect. No, but you're not going to be that far out. We had a guy that come in. He said, "Oh, my bike is really bad handling now. I've adjusted the chain." How did you do it? He said, "I literally I watched the video. I undid the back wheel and just done the tensioner on one side, and then done the back wheel." His bike was tracking out to the left by massively.
See, right. Exeter actually put something up. How do you know when the bars are dead straight? That's the same way as the rear end. It's like see the swing arm pivot pin. It doesn't move on a bike. Not on a standard bike. It doesn't. It stays the same. So that's what I would class as a measurable point.
Yeah, it's a fixed point, isn't it?
So like if you're measuring to the back spindle, like either side, you would be able to get a size off of that. The same going with regards to the likes of the front end. if you were measuring it.
Yeah.
I have watched a guy doing like an old school MOT where he put the plank of wood either side of the wheel down, and he measured the front wheel from the back wheel to see whether they were in line and so on and so forth.
He's finding fixed points, isn't it? You know, on the frame or something like that, and using them as reference. You know, as long as your frame ain't bent or like that, you know, you get fixed points.
Yeah.
But everybody's got their own way of doing things. Like I say, I could do it. I do it my way. Stu does it his way. You know what I mean?
Well, see, the thing about it is like, say for example, you take the front end off a motorbike.
Yeah.
So like when you put the front forks on, there's nothing to say that you haven't fitted the forks plus the front wheel, and they're sitting at an angle, but your bars are straight. And generally, the general consensus is that you sink the front end a couple of times to straighten it up, because that's the geometry of the bike. That's what will happen. But if you can find a measurable point within the bike that you can know that from, like, say for example, the frame to the end of the bars is exactly the same. You know the bars are straight, not necessarily the wheels and the forks, because they might not be, but at least you've confirmed that geometry straight. Then you could work your way down until you worked out where you would measure to make sure the wheels are straight.
Yeah, it's like I say, because the one thing I'm going to do on mine as well is check the tappets, gap and everything as well when I give it a good service. I'm going to, take the covers off and check the gaps with the tappets and everything, which is real feeling age job. But it's good fun.
So Fasty's in the room as well. Evening, Fasty. Good to see you, buddy. Done that before E10. Oh God, there's I think Howie's got a little bit of TMF love going on in the room. So yeah,
I'm surprised Peaky hasn't popped on.
I think anyway, shoot off.
All right, no worries,
I've been up since 2:30 this morning, and I'm struggling here.
Oh bloody hell! Right. Yeah, I don't blame you, mate.
See you on Sunday, Andy.
See you Sunday.
Yeah,
see you
soon. Have a good weekend, Andy.
Brekkie on me, mate.
No worries. Take care soon.
All right.
Cheers, Andy. Have a good weekend.
Andy, all the best, pal.
I'll do Fasty. How's the bike hunt going? Yeah, Fasty's looking at a bike. Peaky's out there chilling.
Don't blame me. Yeah, valve clearances. I call them tappets. I'm old school. Yeah, valve clearance, tappets, same difference.
Yeah.
It's old school.
Take care, Andy. Yeah. So we're going to go on for a little bit longer. I have got a really early start in the morning. I am in from 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Are you still on the spanners by yourself, Rev?
No, what's happened? There was me, Phil, Keith, Macaulay, who's the junior mechanic. Bless him, 17. He's basically we call him the grunt. And we've got Cameron in, who's 18, and obviously me and Phil tends to do the cars. I tend to do the bikes. Cameron works on the cars now with Phil, and Macaulay's been in with me on the bikes, helping me build bikes and whatever. But we had another older one called Keith. Now, Keith's been with us 15 years. But Keith handed his notice in, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and his last day was Wednesday of last week. But obviously, Keith being the car tester and senior mechanic in the building, because normally me and Phil were in the front office, which meant Phil's got to come out on the spanners. I've had to jump out on the spanners as well. And Keith finished last week. So it's been all hands on deck thinking, we can handle this. And this week it's just gone mental. The phones, literally every 20, 30 seconds, the phones are going, I've got this wrong with my car. I've got this wrong with my car. And it's the fact that people have used their cars over Christmas and not had the money to spend on servicing and keeping them clean. So I've got basically, I think, 6 non-running cars, 5 or 6 non-running bikes. Oh God, we had one the other day. He brought in, he said, I bought this bike off of eBay. Oh, great. Okay. How much do you pay for it? 200 quid. But it runs and doesn't run. Okay. But can I get a service on it? I said, well, before the service, I'm going to look at why the bike isn't running. Had a spark, it had fuel, went down to do the compression, and it was 0.2 pounds per square inch, absolutely zero compression in the bike whatsoever. And I said to him, it's pointless. I said, your bike's got no compression. Oh, why is that? I said, it could be your rings, it could be your pistons gone, it could be anything inside the engine. It's turning over, but you've got no compression. You've got spark, you've got fuel, you've got no compression. How much would it cost me? And I went, we don't touch it. It's a 2-stroke, mate. You've got absolutely nothing to spend on the bike. What do you suggest I do? I went, take it down the road, wheel it to the scrapyard and get 20 quid for it, mate, and get yourself another bike.
Or strip it apart and flog them on eBay.
Yeah.
Probably get more than what you pay for it back.
But it literally looked like someone had painted it with a nail varnish brush. It was... Yeah.
Yami's asked a question about got about £2,000 to spend on a 125. Any suggestions on what I should get?
I would say
I'm biased because I like the Lex Moto Michigan. So
yeah, it depends what you want. If you want a twist and go, you can pick up something like Lex Moto Titan or WKSX on a twist and go.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Oh.
The other Lex Moto I'd go for is the Tempest.
Yeah,
I love that Tempest.
ZSB's nice and cheap. They're just under £2,000. Or if you are looking at second-hand bikes, look at who the owner is. If it's a young owner, it's going to be ragged within an inch of its life.
Yeah.
But as they say, I think it's advert something or buyer beware if you're looking around on Marketplace. Because once you've bought that bike, you're not getting your money back. So, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, they're all good, reliable brands. But getting one cheap, I would not touch Yamasaki. I would not touch anything that sounds weird named.
Especially
be
careful. Also, if you are on the Lex Moto owners group on Facebook, be careful. Because honestly, I bang my head against a brick wall when I see some of the questions and what problems people have with the bikes. And it's like me, if it ain't broke, leave it a bloody alone.
Yeah.
They wonder why they start having problems with it when they done X, Y, and Z on it. And it's like,
hi guys, I haven't touched my bike for 5 weeks and it won't start. Can you tell me what the problem is?
Yeah. Oh, honestly, I sit there and look at some of the questions people are asking.
Yeah.
And it might be because I'm old and 50 years old and I'm getting old. And I just sit there and I think, really?
Here we go. Yami and Nova. Yeah, good bikes. Yeah.
It's like I had a wee story to tell. It's like I had a pair of RST boots, size 10.
Yeah.
I've owned RST boots from the minute I passed my test. So only boots I would swear by them because I liked my first pair. I went for the next generation, and I have done right up to now. That's just what I do. If I like a product, I'll stand by it. I kind of reluctant to try something else because if I know I can get a pair of boots for £140 that are going to be good, that I know because of previous history and experience I'm going to like, that's what I'll buy. I wouldn't spend that £140 on something else, even though it might be just a wee bit better. Howie, how you doing, pal?
Hi, Howie.
Good evening, Howie.
Have you seen the...
Stu, how you...
All right.
Have you seen... All right. Sorry, quick subject change. Have you seen what they're planning on doing with the bike license? It's up. They've set a committee group up looking at the bike license because the thing what they're looking at is the amount of people what are still riding around on a CBT 6 years later rather than doing the full license.
Yeah.
And they're looking into it because they're on about because of the price, how much it costs now. Because it's pricing people out the market because you're looking at £1,000 to do your full test.
Matt, it's not. That's the thing. It's like they are saying it's pricing people out the market. It's not people.
Well,
the general public are very, very sus and very, very wise. They know that it's more economical to sit on a CBT than it is to go for a full license.
Yeah, well, this is what I was about to say. The problem is it's pricing the young people out the market, because you've got to do, you got to do your license. You're restricted to like a 400 or whatever it is for so many years until you reach a certain age. Then you've got to do your test again, so you can then go on a, full bike. Like me, I'm 50. I can go out and do my direct access if I wanted to.
If you're
it's
happy
the younger
commuting
generation.
around,
I'll let you answer this one. Yamaha, don't buy Lexmoto. They use cheap materials. Really?
Am I allowed to swear?
Yes, go on.
Yeah, look, yeah.
Load of bollocks. I've had
Thank
a
you, Matt.
Michigan. I've had it 2 years now. I've not had one single problem with it. It's a load of bollocks. The old ones used to be shit. Admittedly, the old Chinese Lexmotos were crap. The new ones are made in the same fucking factory what make parts for Harley
and Honda.
And that a lot. And Honda.
Yeah,
and that's why you're seeing a lot of bikes what look like a Harley or a Honda coming out.
But there's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of misconceptions out there.
They said the same thing about Japanese bikes back in the 60s and 70s.
Exactly, Matt. I'll give you an example. Like Honda discontinued the CG125, and Lifan bought the rights to manufacture it. It was the same casings, same everything, crankshaft. Everything was the same. Now you could take Lifan parts, put them into a Honda CG125, and the bike would run like a Singer sewing machine.
Yeah,
it's a myth.
And I'm not being funny, but if
pop the screens around a bit, here we go. Beginning.
And I'm not being funny.
Medium.
Middle.
Me and Stu are going for the longest beer competition. Stu's is longer than mine.
I've won.
The oldest.
But what was I going to say?
How we have got Maggare's coming in.
Yeah, no, but look at that. Just the oldest one. I mean, I know old Matt's there's totally white.
Yeah.
But mine's...
Oh, it's because I'm ginger, Howie. We go white, we don't go grey.
So Matt, you must do a roaring trade in December, so you must.
Yeah, Santa Claus time, yeah. Hi, Roland.
Exeter's just said it here. It's got a £6,700 Motor Morini 650 at the moment. One of the best finished solid bikes I've ever ridden, and it's Chinese.
Yeah, but they said the same thing back in the 60s and 70s when the Hondas and all the Japanese bikes were coming in the UK. Yeah. All the British bikers said they're a load of crap. Right, and now look at the market. If Lexmoto are that rubbish, why are they the number one selling 125 in the UK?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at the LXR and the LXS.
See when
they're cheap, but they're good bloody bikes.
See when UK bike dealerships, maybe in the 70s, right, and Japanese bikes were coming in. Now you look at urban legend and urban myths. The urban myth was that during the day they used to move the oil pans under the Japanese bikes, and during the night they used to put them back under the British bikes to catch the oil.
Yeah,
that was the. And then they used to put it in the Japanese bike stew. That's what they used to do. They used to top them up.
But sorry, I didn't mean to have a go. It's just, I find comments like that. It's like really load of bollocks. It's like
everybody's afraid of the next.
Everybody's
all afraid of the next economical bike that comes along that overtakes the market.
We had. They used to do one called I believe Daytona Girl 675 Daytona Girl. That's friends with all of our crew. She originally had the ZSXR because I had the ZSXF and the Z. She had a ZSXR. And a guy came in to buy one, brought his dad in, and his dad was a hardened Harley biker. And he said, I like it. He said, how much is the ZSXR? I went, $2,000. I said, it's cheap as chips, beautiful little bike. And his dad went, yeah, but for an extra $2,000, we could go and buy Honda because it looks exactly like the Honda CG. And I went, yeah, it is. I said, but the only difference is 500 yards. And he went, what do you mean? I said, well, where they're made in Zhongsheng in China, you've got the Luzheng factory and the Zhongsheng factory, the LJ and the HJ engines. I said, the only difference is that one of the engine casings is stamped Lexmoto, the other one is stamped Honda. It's exactly the same engine. It's made in exactly the same plant. They just make different engine casings for it. And he went, really? He went off and he bought his son a Honda CG 125. It lasted him 6 months. He came in and bought a Lexmoto. He's still on it, and it's 5 years old.
Right. Can I just say something? Right. Look at the Lexmoto LSM 125.
Yeah.
It's £3,799.99p.
Yeah.
Right. Look at the Yamaha MT125. Near the same bike, £4,900.
Yeah.
It looks identical to the LXN. The LXN looks like it's a bloody copy of it. You know,
exactly.
So
thing is, when you're starting out in biking, you're gonna do your CBT.
You don't want an expensive
a great
bike.
deal of money on a bike. You just want to have it for those few years till you build up to your test.
You don't want an expensive
you don't want to do
bike.
your test. You just stay on the 125, and this is why they got this 6-year thing going on at the moment.
This review. What they're doing.
A little old lady that's just on a moped that she goes down the shops on. She's not going to want to go and do a great test and get her A license.
And that's
she's happy sitting on a C90, just popping down to the shops.
I was saying about the license thing earlier, Howie. What they're doing is, what it is they're looking at the fact of that, like somebody who's been sat on a 125 for 6 years has more experience on a bike than somebody who's just passed the test and got a big bike. And that's what they're saying. And they're on about changing it a little bit because
of course they are, because they want the money for the license. That's what they want.
Yeah, I think they're looking at like either if you've had your CBT as such for like 6 years, they're on about giving you like, is it the A2 or whatever license it is?
No,
rather
I
than having
think,
to do the test.
Matt, do you know what I think they'll do?
Or they'll screw you and say you can't redo your CBT.
Exactly. If you sit on a CBT if you sit on a CBT for too long, you'll lose it.
Yeah.
And you'll start again because that generates more revenue. That's what I think they'll do. But they've made the steps.
Lexmoto are cheaper for a reason. You get what you pay for. The reason being, Lexmotos are cheap. To buy, so let's go LXR. Okay. Yeah,
it's a prime example.
You buy an LXR in, the dealer to buy that bike in, you would buy the bike in. I think they retail at 2,399, and you're going to sell it out. 1,189. You make £200 profit from dealer markup to actually putting the bike out. So there is £200 margin in the bike.
Rev. Can I use another thing on that?
Can I just ask a wee question?
Sorry, Stuart.
Yeah, go on.
Just the fact that you're saying that £200 dealer markup, but you within that markup, you have to. How much of that bike do you have to assemble?
Most of it. There's 2 hours labour, £65 an hour.
And do you ever get that back?
No.
So for selling those bikes at a £200 markup straight away, your dealership has to spend 65 quid.
65 quid, and you get one warranty claim. That's it. That's your margin gone.
Right. Here's another one for you then.
The markup on a Honda is 22%.
But they'll protect you warranty wise. That's where the difference is.
Lexmoto do as well.
It's not quality.
Yeah.
Not quality.
Yeah. Right, here's another one for you then. You see that? I don't know if you can see it. That's my mobile phone. You see what make it is?
Back of your phone, yeah.
Yeah. It's an Oppo.
Pornhub.
Yeah. Right. It's a Chinese phone. It's a Chinese phone. Right. Yeah. It's an A72. When I got that phone, I look at the technical specs. It got a better camera, better memory than the latest Samsung and an iPhone.
Yep.
My daughter got one because I bought us all one. My daughter went in school, was shown one of her mates had got the latest iPhone, and he turned around and went, "My iPhone is shit compared to that phone."
Right.
Because these have got it's an Oppo, it's a Chinese mate.
Yep.
Company you've never heard of. They are getting popular now in the UK.
Most of the chips and most of the mobile phones are Samsung anyway.
My Michigan at the moment, because I haven't used it for a while, he's sat there with just over about 350 odd miles, and I've had it 2 years because I'm not one of these who goes out on it. I go on it just to have a tootle around and clear my brain and then come back home.
Yeah.
I don't do high mileage on it. I'm not on it every day. I'm not a commuter on it. But I've looked after it. I've serviced it and everything, you know, and it's never, ever let me down. The only time it's let me down is when that bloody battery terminal fell off.
Yeah.
You know, and I've put crimps on it. Yeah. Or what I do with mine is I disconnect the battery. Normally I bring it in the house to keep it nice and warm. When I'm not using it, I'll take the battery off, bring it in the house so it's nice and warm and the battery's all right, and it just sits there. And then I go out, put the battery back on it, and go for a ride on it. And then I do the oil changes and everything myself on it because that's the kind of person I am. I know my way around an engine and a car and a bike. But I run mine, and it's not got one bit of rust on it because it's covered in ACF 50. Even underneath, even on the kickstand, it's got no rust on it, and it runs like a bloody dream every time I use it. It's like you look at Boating Biker Bird. She's got one.
Yeah.
They're a bloody good bike. If you look after it, it'll look after you.
Yeah.
And like I say, this thing happened back in the 60s and 70s with the Japanese bikes coming into the UK market and all the, you know, everybody on their Norton Commandos and BSAs and whatever. You know, we're dishing the Hondas and the Quacks and the Yamas and all that lot. And it happened, same thing happened. It's because it's change. You know.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Howie, can I ask you a wee question, right? It's like I'm thinking about like 125 owners. Do you think it would be something that the government could possibly introduce that if somebody has went into the biking, started off and they've done their CBT and they've started in an L plate and they've bought a 125, do you think it would be something worthwhile for the government to do some sort of buyback scheme that would push riders onto the next level, that would maybe do away with the whole money gathering situation right at
They've got to give some sort of incentive. I mean, if they want people to progress in through motorcycling, and if the thing is that with our government, they don't look at being on a motorcycle as a solution. They look at cyclists, they look at walking, they look at public transport as the solution. They haven't really taken that on board. Now, if they did, yes, I totally agree with you. There would be some sort of incentive for people to progress. And it's like anything else. There's never really going to be a natural progression unless you give somebody, you know, that incentive to do it.
Well, like even if they turn around and went,
some little old lady on a scooter isn't going to want to do a full test.
No, of course,
it's like if they turn around and went, right, you've had your CBT now for 6 years. Here's 500 quid towards doing your big bike test. You know, some incentive to make you take that step.
Yeah, but maybe if they got the push for going on electric bikes, maybe they'll introduce something there.
Something like that.
Maybe that would be the furtherment of you know, people being on motorbikes. You know,
I actually for the first time, I used to work I stay to the west side of Glasgow Airport. I used to work in Coat Bridge. I had to go over the Kingston Bridge in Glasgow. I drove the M8 for 16 years. And last night was the first time I actually sold a pair of boots. And it's a funny story. It's too long to take up Rev Bomb's live stream. I'm not going to do it.
Go for it. Go for it.
So basically what happened was I put them on Facebook Marketplace. This guy started messaging me. He was from Stirling. So Stirling from me is like 80, maybe 90 miles away from me. It's like over the Forth Road Bridge, beyond Edinburgh and up. I'm on the west coast. That's northeast, kind of on the way towards Aberdeen. So he started messaging me. He was interested in the boots. He wanted to meet. I had a certain price range for the boots, but he wanted to meet kind of in between. And I'm like, by the time I've met you in between the cost of the boots, it's like I'm not making any money here. So, and I wasn't wanting to make a lot of money, but anyway, long story short, we agreed to meet this side of Glasgow, and we met. And it turns out that he knew one person in Facebook that was Anu. I went to nursery school with this girl, primary school with this girl, high school with this girl, and Archie was actually Claire's daughter's coach, and he's coaching her to become a Great British track cycling champion.
Yeah,
and she will be. She's in that, and it was just like it was one of these wee moments. All I was doing was selling a pair of RST boots, and I meet this guy who knows somebody that I know, but we ended up standing in the car park and talking for well over half an hour. Archie used to ride and race sidecars.
They always say that you're only about 10 people away from someone else you know, or there's some sort of statistic, isn't there, of you know someone that's had a
It was unbelievable because Archie knew 100% exactly what I knew about Claire as well. Because and the thing about it was like obviously I knew Claire before I met my wife, and this is where it gets twisted. My wife works in the RAH hospital in Paisley, and when she went to work and she came back and she started talking about her ward sister. And like every time she come back and spoke about her ward sister, I'm like, I know who you're talking about. And like I said to her, is it Claire? Yep. So the girl I went to nursery, primary, and high school with was also my wife's ward sister. My wife's a domestic. So it was like one of those. It closes a loop. And like I met Archie, and like he took the boots. That was the whole story. He took the boots, and he was happy with the boots, and the boots moved on to a happier home. But to meet somebody from Stirling that knows somebody that you know that just like closes, makes it such a small place.
Oh, it bloody well is. My wife, she's just taken it for some reason. I don't know why. She's just taken up Morris dancing, and she goes and does this every Monday night. Yeah. She says, I gave a lift to a woman tonight. And she says, I said, oh, yeah. She says, she knows you. I said, ow. She says, because her husband knows you because he drives a Triumph Rocket 3.
Okay.
I think, where the bloody hell's that? She says, yeah, he goes to the bike night, the local bike night. He helps run it. And it's like, you don't associate that she would ever be. I mean, she's not local to me. They live about 5 miles away.
Yeah.
But you think, bloody hell, she's actually given her a lift tonight in the car, and that's one of my mate's wife sort of thing. Man, it's a bloody small world.
It's funny how things connect.
Oh, yeah. But especially in the biking world as well,
Absolutely, because like I could have talked to Archie for hours. As soon as he started getting into the sidecar, and he was talking about the TT, and he was talking about the British Championships within sidecars and engines, and it's like I need to go, Archie. I've just finished working. It's like, right, okay. And I was talking to him about my rebuild with the ZX9R because when he came on to Facebook Marketplace, he obviously had a wee look at my profile to make sure that I wasn't
you're not
an idiot, and I wasn't spamming. I didn't just join Facebook like 2 minutes ago, so he had a wee look, and obviously that was the common interest. Was like he knew Claire, and he followed Claire as well, so he knew that the two of us were connected. And it was the first thing when we met that night. It was like strangers that we had that commonality, and I said, so how is it you know Claire? And he told me, he says, I actually teach Claire's daughter. He works at the Velodrome in Glasgow. It's the Chris Hoy Velodrome, which was the velodrome that was created for the Glasgow Commonwealth Games. So he actually teaches Claire's daughter to ride, and he's hoping to get her into the Great Britain team. So it's such an amazing story. And he's such a lovely guy. And he said, he's like, I'm going to keep an eye on your ZX9 story, because I was telling him about how my mate's going to paint it and do all these wee things. He said, I'm going to keep an eye on it. Send me the pictures. It's just nice how life does these wee things.
Oh god, yeah.
8:30, and you're waiting for the bar to open. That's a bit late, isn't it?
Yeah, but actually we does bowls as well. So does Stu. Stewie's very good at.
Bowling.
Yeah. Who's doing the bowls, Rev?
I went to Sausage Cafe for the first time, and then later on, Red Bomb had photographed me. I was shocked. I had no idea what he looked like. But you know now. You know now, anyway.
Yeah, Roland, in answer to your thing over here, each vehicle's given a number plate by the DVLA, which sticks with the vehicle. We pay a vehicle duty stroke environmental tax, what used to be called the road tax many moons ago. Yeah, right. Our roads look like the bloody surface of the moon. And obviously an MOT every year, which they were on about changing that, and then they all got upset over it and decided to change it back to every year again.
We've just had the memo through from VOSA today. They're looking switching MOTs to every 2 years, and they're asking testers, "What is your opinion of doing MOTs every 2 years?"
2 years, yeah.
I
don't know. There's an up and a downside. Yeah, it's going to save you money, but it's going to be 2 years before they pick up that your vehicle's track rod end is falling off, or your CB boot's gone, or something like that. You know?
I'm considering getting a historic bike, so I don't have to do an MOT or tax it.
I'll tell you what, I still wish I had that bloody Rolls Royce, what me and my brother had.
Nice.
That thing would be MOT free, and that'd be tax free. And I'd still run around in that rather than my bloody Cube. Probably cheaper to insure as well. Well, no, I got BBBs off. Good night, BBB. Stay safe. But yeah.
Bye, beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, like I say, it's different
lawn
over
bowls. Yeah, lawn bowls. There we go. BBB's off. Don't know anything.
Because it's like I think we're going to go hydrogen. I really do, because Yamaha and people like that are developing hydrogen, aren't they?
Yeah, there's like, see, if you look at the likes of World Rally cars and you look at Formula One, every one of them has patents in for hydrogen cells, race cells.
Well,
there's actually a 2-litre hydrogen engine that's getting tested as we speak. That's trying to patent it.
Pissing myself with laughter the other week because I was watching this video about this bloke who got an electric car. He rolled up at one place, both electric charging points weren't working. It got something like about 13 miles left on his charge. He went to another place and he had to wait for 20 minutes before he could charge his car at a petrol. This is next to a petrol station. And I'm like thinking, well, if I came in with my gas guzzler, I've been out it there within 5 minutes, mate, while you're still sat in your car, picking your nose and scratching your ass, waiting for your electric to be charging, you know.
And, whatever fuel they use, it's going to be bloody expensive anyway.
Well, back in the 70s, there was a guy in America back in the 70s who developed a water-powered car, didn't he?
Howie, surely with hydrogen, you're talking about the government taxing water.
Oh, yeah, of course they will. My bloody water is going to shoot up, I tell you.
Yeah, well, do you know how people are going to get around that, don't you, Howie?
Piss in your tank, yeah. Well,
no, every time it bloody rains in the UK, get water buckets out and those big blue water barrels.
Just get an IBC,
with bloody water.
Just get a 1,000 litre IBC and just run a gutter straight into it.
Live by a lake.
Yeah.
That'd be
just saying, or get one of those big water buckets.
You look at the rainwater. You look at how much volume of rainwater your house roof can catch over a. You put a 1,000 litre IBC with a diverter onto it.
I don't know whether you've seen the video of that guy who's turning red diesel into white diesel using kitty litter.
Cat litter, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
In some drain
it doesn't matter because red diesel's not even a thing anymore. So
no. I mean, it was It was buying it at 50p a litre.
Was that like Fuller's Earth?
Yeah, it was filtered. It was literally.
All it was doing was taking the dye out. It was taking the dye out.
That's what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. All what he got, Howie, in his back garden, well, wherever it was, it got like 2 drain pipe tubes coming down with a U in it.
Yeah.
And it was filled up with cat litter in the bottom.
Matt.
And it was pouring the red diesel in one side and the white diesel was coming out the other side.
But Matt, what I won't tell you is the DVLA are still charging you for dirty diesel, not red diesel. That's the difference. He's not telling you that. Just because the dye isn't in it doesn't mean that it's pure. That's the only difference.
This is the thing.
But when you consider it, like with the electric versus hydrogen, you think of the investment that our government and everybody else has put into this electric vehicle policy now.
Yeah,
there ain't enough lithium.
Millions upon millions have been spent on it.
Yeah.
So and the hydrogen hasn't even poked its head over the top of the parapet in that sort of like mainstay sort of thing. So you're looking at, it's a hard battle. I mean, I think a couple of weeks back I mentioned a book by Ben Elton, and I can't remember the actual name of the title, but he did it about a guy that invented an engine that ran on water. Like a hydrogen.
It was a guy in America.
Is that the boy that disappeared?
But he's a comedian.
Or he died.
Yeah, it was Ben Elton who did it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing was that this guy was like hunted. He was hunted by the bloody mafia.
Yeah.
He was hunted by the Arabs. He was hunted by the oil barons of America. And they all wanted his blood because he had this plans or this blueprint for a motor that would run as economical as a petrol engine. It's just a book. I know it's all fiction and everything. No, but when you think about the reality of that, if somebody comes up with an engine that's going to work like that, and basically, your life's not worth living.
Was his last words not "they got me"?
Something like that. Yeah.
With somebody, I saw it, and all his plans disappeared.
Yeah, there was a bloke in America back in the 70s who came up with it, like you say, a water-powered car. And basically, the oil companies just walked up to him and went, "Here's so many million. We'll buy the patent off of you."
So many
and just shoved it.
Running.
But this is the thing about Bob Lazar, and he's talking about the Area 51 sort of engineered sort of crafts that they have that are using gravitational propulsion. Now, what it does is it sucks propulsion in from one side and pushes it out. There's no energy involved. It uses the energy that surrounds us all the time.
Well, Tesla came up with that, didn't he?
But not me sitting here just now. I emit energy. That's how I speak. That's how I think. That's how I comprehend what you're saying.
Having a lure.
Well, you look at Nikola Tesla. He came up with a free energy device back when he was alive. You're talking, 1800s, was it? Tesla was around?
Yeah.
Early 19th, And he came up with free energy device and everything. And look what they did to him. Good old poor Tesla. He was bankrupt when he died and that lot, and they screwed him over left, right, and centre.
Well, it showed to me, even on the electric thing, what the big companies were making on petrol. They want to convert that into what they're going to make on electricity. So you got the electric. Did you see how it's sort of like the electric car company just sort of like rocketed? How the prices accelerated? How the price of energy just went up magically now that we're all into this. And it's all to do with these companies still want to make this degree of profit that they're used to and happy with that they've made in the past. And now we're shafted, really, because when you're running your ordinary home on the electricity, now that they're converting it to take the petrol engine away and replace it with the electric engine, the petrol, is a thing of the past. Electric is now the future. They want the same degree of profit that they made off petrol that they want to do with the electricity. And that's why we're in this bloody position at the moment.
Because it's like gas prices. They can't really, gas just follows the same price as oil.
Well,
because you can't really, you can store gas, but the way gas is priced, it follows near enough the same as oil. Because, like I say, oil, you can put it in a barrel and store it. Gas, you can store it in cans and whatever, but it's affected by temperature and whatever. And they were saying when gas came around, the gas price was basically the way to price it. It follows the oil price up.
Do you think that the government don't know of a solar power source or a wind turbine source that every single person in the United Kingdom could have a solar panel plus a wind turbine on their roof that would make them self-sufficient, plus add power into the grid, and create free energy for everybody? Why would they want to do it? Why would they want to do it?
Roland does it in Australia, and I know in America they do it.
They take away.
they've created a fear factor with the whole Russia's holding on to our gas. They're
Right,
holding on.
they're
not. No, please, because we can generate. Listen, every single day in Scotland, there's wind out there. You can't tell me I can't generate my own power. Give me the facility. See if the government were to turn around and say, we'll put a turbine on your roof. You can generate power for your house. You pay it back over 5 years. They won't do it because they know that by that 5 years I'm off grid. They don't want you off grid. They want to keep you.
They want you in to pay the bills.
Exactly that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing.
But
you know what I mean? They're already taking. I've got I've got a car and 2 motorbikes that I pay road tax that are never ever going to fix roads.
No, it's an environment tax. Yeah, it's an environment tax.
And if you're struggling and you're poor, they're bloody replacing your meter with these bloody pay meters, which is
disgusting. So they're exactly. And what people don't understand is you have the given common right to refuse these people access to your house. They will never ever tell you that you do not have to give them access to your house.
Do you know the gas companies use a law?
They don't own your meter.
No, but do you know the gas companies? They use a Gas Act law back from the 18-something or others. Now I've seen the program, thing the other week, where this bloke changed the gas meter. British Gas was knocking on his door, and he turned around and went, "There is not a problem with my gas," because it's an emergency act they use for a gas leak to try and get into your house to get a warrant. And basically, he changed the gas meter. He got a Corgi registered guy to come out and do it. He got all the certificates from Corgi registered guy, all the safety checks and that lot. And you know what? In the end, British Gas ended up turning around and walking away from him. Yeah. Because they were trying to use an emergency gas act from 18-something or other to get access into his problem. Yeah, it's bully boy.
That's what it is.
Because did you see the thing the other week? Was it nuclear fusion? Or was it fission? I can never get the two
right. Fusion is the collision of two atoms is like fusion.
Oh right, no, it's fission.
There's no byproduct from it. It's like if you explode an atom, you've got nuclear reaction, and it's like you've got byproducts that you can't get rid of, and they stay alive. Half-life of millions of years.
Did you see what they've managed to do the other week? Is it? I think is it fission but basically
fusion.
It's fusion when they collide the two together, and
this weren't colliding. What they got was a particle on the end of the thing. They fired lasers at it, bounced it around these mirrors or surrounding it, and then obviously it hit the thing, and that then generated. And they've actually developed it now where when they did the experiment, they used something like 100 kilowatts at it
to generate
at the end of it, and it generated over 300 kilowatts coming out the other end of it.
I saw that.
Yeah, because it's like the size of a bloody pinhead. You know what they bought it at.
There's no byproduct.
No byproduct from it. Clean energy. Yeah, perfectly clean energy, and they've actually finally done it. Now what they're looking at, obviously, is just making it bigger. They've done it small. Just need to do it bigger.
Rolls-Royce turned round to see when the government the government went on this whole spiral of energy crisis. Oh, Russia's going to stop the gas. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Rolls-Royce turned around and said, "We can supply portable nuclear power generators that will supply every single bit of power to the United Kingdom right now."
Yeah,
and those nuclear generators are the same generators that are used to power every single one of the nuclear submarines that the United Kingdom has
got out in the sea. Yeah,
all out in the sea. And they said they can put them into remote locations and they can be active within X amount. And the government have just went, "Shh, don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody."
Yeah, I know. It's bloody. It's annoying.
Scaremongering.
Yeah. But the way they're going now is, like I say, is what I was on about that experiment where they put something like 100 kilowatts in and they got over 300 out of it, and that's the way it's going to go. That's what they're looking at. And that's when they reckon once they've mastered that, that's when you're going to see, go into the UFO things, where you're going to start seeing like anti-gravity devices and things like that, because the energy being generated is now clean. There's no fallout, there's nothing wrong with it. And they reckon that's where our technology is going to leap forward once they fully develop that.
No, our technology will leap forward when they find a way of being able to charge for it.
Yeah.
When the general public has to pay for stuff that they've already listen. The amount of information that's suppressed beyond our media. It's ridiculous. It's
ridiculous.
Don't even want to fall down that rabbit hole because
it's same with the bloody tax, isn't it? You look at what bloody your old Roland Rat's missus has done with the tax office, so she only has to pay 30,000 a year. How many people knew about that? Where you could write into the tax office and go, "I want to be this," so I only pay 30k a year, yet I'm earning like 5.6 million.
Matt, I'll ask a question. Rev, do you have a car and a bike? Rev, do you have a car and a bike?
I have. We've got 2 cars and 2. I've got 2 cars, 1 bike. Yeah.
What about you? Do you have a car and a bike within your family?
Yes, yeah.
Howie?
I'm saying, have you got a car and a bike within your family?
Yeah, I don't have a car, but the car's my wife's, and I'm just a named driver on it.
Yeah,
and I got a bike, and that's about it.
Yep. So
my son's got a car, so there's 2 cars, 1 bike.
2 cars, 1 bike. I've got 2 bikes and 1 car. Matt, what about you?
Currently 1 car, 1 bike, but this year will be 1 car, 2 bikes.
But so you look at the small demographic of 4 people sitting here just now, how much tax we're paying to maintain UK's roads, and that tax is not directly going to fix the roads.
No, I know.
So
to local
surely the government should be getting done under trade's description, because that's road tax. Road tax is for taxing or for the use of the roads.
This is where they've got a little bit of a loophole, because road tax is not called road tax anymore. It's called vehicle duty.
Right. So they changed it to become environmentally.
Yeah. I was going to say it's never been called road tax. It's always been vehicle duty, hasn't it?
Evening, Sarah.
Well, do
you know one thing that I actually found interesting quite recently? Do you know that every vehicle that you have and you register with the DVLA isn't actually yours? You don't actually own it.
We're the registered keeper.
You're the registered keeper.
As soon as you register it with the DVLA,
the owner is the person
they own it.
Receipt for the purchase.
The government are the registered owners, because they actually use. Yeah. Yep, they actually use it as part of the when they're looking at the value of the United Kingdom. Your car or your vehicle or whatever becomes part of that value.
Yeah, because
honestly,
I think me and Stuart watch the same things.
That's what. Yep, 100%.
Because if you've got a receipt for a Tesla you brought,
it doesn't matter. You don't own it.
As soon as you register
you're not the owner.
As soon as you register that vehicle,
registered keeper,
DVLA, you are then the registered keeper. The government owns the vehicle.
The government owns the vehicle. You never ever own.
If you don't register it with the DVLA, if you don't register it with the DVLA, which you've got to in this country, if you buy the vehicle and you don't register it with the DVLA, you own that vehicle. But as soon as you register it with the DVLA, they own it, and you become the registered keeper.
You're surrendering ownership by.
You're surrendering ownership as soon as you register it.
That's
we
must
watch the same thing. Honestly, we must watch.
Bring on the revolution, I say. Let's go get the bastards.
Listen, it's like I've been down many rabbit holes, and that was one of them.
Yeah, because basically, as as soon as you register it, like Stuart says, it becomes part of the UK economy and it's classified to do gross, whatever it is in the UK.
And they can offset debt against your vehicle. They can borrow money against your vehicle. So, like when they're turning around saying we can give £10 million to
they can start paying the fucking service fees for it when I take it into BMW.
Because it's same as when you buy. It's same as when you buy a house.
Dahawi, whatever his name is, who's in charge.
Honestly,
now.
It's same as when you buy a house. You don't own the land; the Queen does.
Yeah.
Your house is on her land. She owns the land.
See, it's different. It's different. I will interject in that sense because, like, in Scotland,
the Queen's dead, though, Matt. The Queen's dead.
Well, it's Charlie now, isn't it? It's the king now. Charlie. Sorry.
Between
I'll
Scotland,
come forward a year, Howie.
Come up to date, mate. Come up to date.
Yeah,
between Scotland and England, if I'm buying a house within Scotland, the land that I purchase is mine. When you're purchasing a house in England, there will be a lease, a land lease attached to that purchase. That land lease could be 100 years, it could be 75, it could be 25, it could be whatever it is. But you may own the house within the land, but when that land lease expires, you have to renegotiate.
Yeah. Can I just say something? Just a quick thing. Harry, shut the fuck up. You're giving us gingers bad names. You're a moaning, whinging twat, and your missus is. So shut the fuck up, Harry. Sorry. I just have to get that out of there because
that Prince Harry, I take it.
The fucking moaning ginger twat who lives in America with that fucking moaning, whinging bastard.
When's Harry then? Is it when's Harry?
Fucking whinger. Yeah.
I kind of like him. I think he's a nice bloke.
He's a tosser.
He shoots from the hip. That's what I like about him.
I was having up. So there's my brother living in this house with all these suits of armor and everything, and my furniture came from IKEA. Who gives a fuck?
I don't get that.
Sorry,
how you
Rev, you've probably got 20 red flags.
Had to pay on her Barclay card. I don't get that. On the estate that there wasn't a spare sofa kicking around in one of the staterooms that they could have borrowed. Some chaise longue somewhere that they could have, I don't know, watched Netflix on. Sorry. Not biased.
Howard, sorry, I just have to get that out there.
But how do you get into that? How do you get into that?
I know that bloody Matt just brought it up with a Harry rant.
But
sorry, my fault.
I'm not saying how did we get into that. I'm just saying it's like you think of that young guy. It's like his mum was married to the future king of England and so on and so forth. It's like his brother was obviously going to be the future heir. He was going to be nothing. He wasn't even part of the family because his dad sucked his mum's toes in a yacht sometime long ago, which wasn't Prince Charles because he was diddling Camilla because that happened.
He does look a lot like that Hewitt fellow. I will agree.
So it becomes a wee bit of a mix sort of bag.
Sorry about changing subject there, Revan. You've probably got a strike by me effing and blinding because
effing and jeffing.
Believe it or not, we went red in the first 20 minutes, so I'm not asked.
Excellent.
But no, honestly, oh God, it's giving us gingers bad name. That bloke.
Changing the subject.
Yeah, sorry.
Stu, how do you think Scotland are going to fare in the Six Nations?
We've struggled so much rugby wise, but at the end of the day, I hate rugby because I cannot stand guys that play with odd shaped balls. I'm a football man. I support Celtic, so rugby means nothing to me.
I'm sorry. I've got a little bit into football just recently, but what winds me up about football is you can have a Formula One driver who crashes into a wall at 160 mile an hour. He gets out of his car and just stands there and goes, "Oh, right, okay." A footballer gets a slight touch on him and he's dying on the floor. They ought to give an Oscar out at the end of each match.
It's all an act anyway. It's all an act.
See you later,
They're trying to convince the referee that they've done.
So the thing about it is like when you look at VAR, which is the video assisted referee, a lot of what you're seeing with the whole diving and you've not been touched, I would say one of the best players in the world, which is a Brazilian player called Rivaldo, did it at a corner flag in a World Cup. He actually, the ball get kicked him, and all the player did was he knew it was a corner, kicked it towards him, it hit him in the knee, and he went down holding his face. And it was shown over and over and over again. And all it does is highlight the fact that Redbomb, pardon, it highlights that guy is a prick. That's all it does. He's trying to cheat somebody out of something or other.
It's dishonest.
That's what VAR. Now, Howie, when I talk about rugby in the sense of the way I like rugby and the way I like football, I love football, but do you know what I like about rugby? The respect to the referees.
Yes.
Nothing ever comes close. When you listen to a mic'd up referee talking to a whole group of rugby players and they say, I'm sorry, sir, I apologise, that will not happen. And he says, I will not tolerate this. I want a clean scrum. I want this. I want that. This line out has to be pure. Do not move that ball.
Talk to you guys. Because this is...
And that is such a pure thing. I think one of the best things for Scottish, English and world football was for the mics on the referees to be alive, that you can hear the responses from the players.
Because you probably hear the bloody players.
Because there's that famous...
Let's hear how much of an arsehole the player is, because you don't know what the referee's saying when you're looking at it as a football match. In a rugby match, you do.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's that referee from Wales in the rugby. He's quite famous. He's retired now. I can't remember his name. And I remember him once pulling this player up because he was shouting at the ref, and he pulled him over and he went, carrying on doing that, you get a yellow card. This is not football, this is rugby. And he turned around and said that to the rugby player, and the rugby player apologised to him and walked off.
Yeah,
for it.
See, when he apologised, they called him sir.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He walked away.
The respect. Well, they call rugby the gentleman's sport, don't they?
And that's the whole thing. It's like, because they can have a ruck and then they can stand up and...
Because the other difference with a rugby match, you go to a rugby match, you can take a pint of beer into the stadium while you're watching the match. You can't do that with football. It's banned. But with rugby, you can.
If you get caught.
Well, yeah, unless you don't smuggle it in. But, you know, that's the difference, because it's a gentleman's sport, rugby, whereas football, don't get me started on that sport.
Come on, yourself.
Right, guys. Coming up 10 o'clock. Yeah, coming up for 10 o'clock. So I've been on for my 2 hours on it. I've got a 5 o'clock start in the morning, boys. So do you want to crack up? Do you want to carry it on, Stu?
No, man, I'm good. I'm going to go to my bed. I'm up early in the morning.
I think a lot.
Sorry about having a rant. That's it. Nigel Owens.
If anyone wants to carry on, they're more than welcome.
I'm sure Howie will go and find someone to gate crash.
I just thought I would come on and show you a bit of support.
I nearly today did a video and did another hit on Exeter Rider. I think he's gone now. But you know that bit where I don't know if you've seen his video where he comes up on the ice, he falls off. And there's just loads of expletives. He's going, oh, fuck, I don't want to look. Oh, shit, fuck this. He goes, and he's like, fucking ice. Oh, fuck. And it's absolutely brilliant. I thought about doing this one where I sort of like come out from the side and I give him
push him over.
And then sneak off again, back into the ether.
No, Howie, do you know what would be good? Go on to like the international ice skating or something like that and find sort of an ice skating sort of thing of like they're doing this intricate dance and they maybe fucking fall and
a montage of ice skaters
and
falling.
just overlap it with Exeter. Go, oh, fucking ice! Fucking that's the one. That's the one.
People sliding on the ice on their asses. And
Brilliant.
Definitely.
Aussie man, ice sliding people going losing their shit. Destination fucked Icelandic.
Brilliant. All right.
I nearly did. I thought, no.
Can I just say something, Rev, before
go on,
everybody disappears? Thank you for tonight. It's just what I needed. I needed a laugh and a joke after
I'm
today.
glad we boosted your whatever it is.
Oh, what a day I've had. But he's home. He's home. He's now in bed. Mrs. is home. So just got to keep an eye on him for the next 24 hours. But
brilliant.
That's not a sight I can get out of my brain at the moment. Seeing him on the floor fitting.
Oh,
passed out
fitting. Is it the first time he's had a fit, Matt?
Yeah.
Photoshop his helmet onto one of them.
Yeah. First time it's happened, Howie. He's
right, yeah, I mean...
we've all, me, Tina, and myself have all had COVID. He's the only one in our house who hasn't had it.
Do you think
doesn't mean any sort of seizure and stuff like that doesn't mean to say it's epilepsy or anything like that.
No,
so
no.
Thinking that you're going down that route.
Due to a fever. A fever.
Could be any high temperature.
Well,
could be
he worked out. He had blood tests done. His phosphorus level is low, so he's on phosphorus tablets. Phosphate, sorry, not phosphorus, phosphate. And they reckon it's down to dehydration, even though he had bloody.
Yeah, that brings it on.
Water.
I mean, also, I did possibly. Well, I did as a NHS paramedic. I did 16 years. Yeah. And sort of, I did 8 years in the private sector as a paramedic. Don't think that every kind of seizure is
no.
Brought on.
It's just one of those things, but
it might just never happen. It might just never ever happen again.
Yeah,
you might never see another seizure. And everything else, his electrolyte balance might come back up and be normal again, and everything. And it's like that. It's probably just a drop in one chemical, somewhere like the potassium, or even like you say, his phosphorus levels, a drop in that. No, and like just... if it happens again, obviously, you keep on and you go to your doctor, you get meds, and you get it controlled.
Yeah,
but and then you do some sort of like investigation on what the possibilities could be there. But he's been seen, he's been sorted. You can probably the rest of your family can rest easy. That
I tell you, my phone's been like the hotline tonight, but. It's frightening because I got the phone call, arrived at the school, and he literally was just coming out of it as I rolled up into the classroom, and the paramedics and that were with him, dealing with him, and we're taking him to hospital, and luckily enough, just as we were getting him out into the ambulance, Mrs. turned up, Tina, and she went, I'll go with him. I came home with all the stuff sort of thing, so Tina sat with him tonight, but honestly, it's one of those things at the moment I'm still dealing with and trying to get out of my brain.
I mean, I, as a grandparent myself, I got a call today saying that my daughter and her husband were in A&E with my grandson. And he's just had a head injury. He's just got a great big bloody hematoma on his head.
Yeah.
But nursery, he's fallen forward and hit his head on something.
Yeah.
I said, well, don't worry about it. Was he knocked out? No. We're just taking him in there just to be on the safe side. Well, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but you lot have cheered me up and took my brain off of it, so thank you for that.
That's good. That's good.
Great.
Wish you all the best. Wish you and the family all the best.
Love the hat. That's really good. You wanna?
That's Red Bombs.
I love the support. I love the support.
But
like he's going to take that. He's going to take that as some sort of form of hero worship. You do know that, don't
you? I got that off of Mr. Orby.
You do know that you are going to be the highlight of Red Bomb's next 4 vlogs because
it's going to have that image of you,
number 1 follower.
It's going to be making videos. He'll be mentioning you on his way to the Super Sausage at least 3 or 4 times.
I'll give you a mention on Sunday's one. Yeah, right. I'm going to go and grab some sleep. I've got 4 hours of editing to do before I go to work tomorrow. Thanks for everybody that's been in the side chat. You know who you all are. Don't forget. Howie702. Go and watch his gate crash videos. Stuart down here, ZN Motor Vlogs. Go. Oh, I did mention in today's video about what cameras to buy. I have told him to go and watch your Goodman's action camera one.
That's valued information right there.
That's good. That's good info. Thanks to Matt down here. Thank you everybody that's been in the stream. Enjoy the weekend. If you're up Super Sausage this weekend, brekkies are on me. So I will see you up there. Full English breakfast and a cup of tea on me if you manage to make it. But until the next time, guys, don't forget, Peaky's on Wednesday, midweek mumble. Exit is normally on a Sunday. We'll see you again, same time, same place next Friday. Until then, all the best. Be well, ride safe, and it's a big goodbye from me. Thanks, everybody.
Take care,
everybody. Thank you.